Welcome to Reiki Healer and the Church Girl podcast. This is Stephanie, the Reiki Healer. Welcome everyone today to our show. I apologize for being a little behind. I may change the date of the podcast. Sundays are so busy for us. We usually have music at our house, so there's cleaning and cooking and all kind of fun going on in our houses on Sunday, but hopefully I'll just get centered in the mornings before everything gets started. So that's what I'm going to try for again. Yeah, so I'm just really glad you're all here. And a little more housekeeping notes that April, she's working really hard at her job and also starting a new poetry book and also doing some more artwork. So anyways, she's going to be off the podcast for a while, so hopefully you'll still enjoy our podcast even if April's not here, and I'm sure she'll be back before we know it. Time goes by so quickly these days, doesn't it? It sure does. Oh my goodness. Well, today I thought we'd talk about our powerhouse, our emotions, and how we can manage our emotions so they don't manage us. Because have you ever been in a bad mood and then you get a phone call and someone cheers you up? Well, you really did that because you had a perspective that was sad, and then you heard something good or different, and that changed your perspective. And so, learning to do that at will instead of waiting for some outside influence to cheer us up, that's what I've dedicated my life to, is to being able to make a good story out of everything. One example is my ex-husband. He used to slap me around on occasion, and then when he did it too much, I finally divorced him. But anyways, at first it wasn't that often, and I had a belief to be thankful for everything. So I believe gratitude is a superpower, and so I would say, okay, I'm thankful that Jeffrey did this, and what am I supposed to learn? And do I stay? Do I go? I never had children with him because I just never had children, period. And I think it's not going to happen. I've just turned 60, woohoo, so don't have to worry about that anyway. Anyways, and so, yes, oh my goodness, getting back to our emotions, they're so powerful, right? And so anything can happen and change our emotions. But what I've dedicated my life to is being the boss of my emotions. They're not going to boss me around. No, I want to boss my emotions around. If I'm feeling sad for too long, that's not doing me any good. If I'm not carrying a good emotion, then I'm not drawing to myself good experiences. Because I believe that our emotions are what create karma in this world. And when we have negative emotions, and it's not like I don't think negative things, I do, and I get frustrated sometimes. But what's most important is I know that when I am putting out frustration or impatience, I realize I'm just hurting myself. I'm not changing reality. I'm not going to get what I want faster. In fact, I think it slows it down. So I do my best to accept whatever situation I'm in at the moment. An example, when my husband Robert and I we weren't even married then. We got married in 2009, but in 2008, both of Robert's retinas detached within about 2 or 3 weeks of each other. maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, I think 3 weeks, because he had the operation, and then the healing process started, and then his eye filled with blood. Oh, it was so pretty. His whole eye looked like a stop sign, and then it had the blue part, because his eyes are blue, so I guess that's the iris, right? So the iris was still blue somehow, but the rest of the white part was red as a stop sign because his eye was filled with blood from a problem with his retinal detachment surgery in the reattachment process. The first doctor messed up somehow. So he had to go back and get the other one refixed. He had to have a second operation. Then after he had a second operation to repair what the first doctor had done, he went back to the eye doctor and he said, "Doc, I think my right eye has having a retinal detachment." And the doctor's like, "Oh no, I don't think that could be happening." But sure enough, he looked in Robert's eye and he's like, "Yes, you're having another retinal detachment. And I need to send you back to the mainland to that other doctor." I said, "We're not going to that doctor. There's got to be another doctor in BC that does these operations." So we got sent to the main downtown uh, Vancouver hospital. I think it's Vancouver General. And so if you ever have a choice in BC to go to Vancouver General or whatever the hospital's called in Surrey, take Vancouver General. The Surrey hospital, Robert said, was like a MASH unit. And the doctor messed up his eye and he had a terrible rating on, there's this doctor site called RateMD, right? So um, you can go and check out any doctor and their rating. And this doctor had even done this poor uh, surgery to this other people. So it wasn't the first person he messed up was my husband. He had messed up a lot of people's surgery. So hopefully he doesn't work there anymore. I don't remember his name anymore. That was a long time ago, 2008. Whoa. So gosh, Rob, in a couple more years, it'll be 20 years since Robert's retina's detached. Oh, can he see? Oh yeah, he sees real good now and he can do his art. But we thought maybe he'd be a blind bass player or something. You know, and to bring back, that was a long segue, just to say that, you know, I was saying all that just to let you know what I was going through. And Robert will still tell the story to this day that I didn't get upset or worried, or I just trusted everything would be all right. Because by trusting everything will be all right, to me that helps my life turn out the way I want, to be filled with the capacity to have the energy to deal with whatever issues and exciting things and traumas and whatever happens in my life, that I have the emotional intelligence to be able to deal with those things with grace and compassion and kindness. Because believe me, when you're 15 and a half years old and you see your dad unconscious, hardly breathing, lying on the ground, once you heal from that traumatic event, as I did finally, by the time I don't know, anyway, it took a long time, but I was mostly probably healed by 30, then I could talk about my dad and no more crying, and it was just supposed to happen, right? And so for me to get through that, with all the positive thinking books I've read, it just helps me to know that I'm the boss of my emotions. And it's okay when people die. It's okay when traumatic things happen, because you know what? I'm not in control of the world. I'm only in control of me. So by being able to be calm and centered in times of crises and hard times, it allows everything to go better. I'm not scared. I guess that's what I'm saying. I want to live this life as like a brave adventurer. And every day's an adventure, because we don't know what's going to happen on this planet. Anything can happen. One of our friends could get sick and die. One of our family members could. One of our family members could win the lottery. All things are possible. Their story could win a Pulitzer Prize. Anything could happen. It's so important for each of us to maintain. And if we get too excited, we can go and have a big party and wreck our life by partying too much, right? And if our emotions get too sad, we can hurt ourselves. So it's just been so important to me, and I hope that I can inspire all of you to really think about your emotions. And so many things add into our emotions, right? When we're exuding sadness, negativity, we're creating cortisol and adrenaline in our body that makes us feel more stressed out. Whereas if we can see a situation, like I love this Zen story. I might have told it on the podcast before, but I'm not sure. But we'll tell it again just in case you missed that episode. Or in case I haven't told it. I guess I should have a list of everything I mentioned so I don't repeat myself, huh? Anyways, so the story goes there's an elderly gentleman in this little village, and his son breaks his leg. And you could have even heard it before. It's been around, this story, right? And the farmer says, well, everybody says, oh, that's too bad that your son broke his leg. And the farmer just says, we'll see. Maybe good, maybe bad. Don't worry. And that's my whole thing. No worrying. Whatever happens always turns out for the best for me. That's my mantra. And you could take that mantra too. You could take that and say, everything that happens works out for the best for me. I dare you to adopt my mantra. It's my favorite one. And so when I do that, when I invest in admitting that it's going to work out good for me, I'm allowing good to come to me, because that's karma. What we emit is what comes back. So if I emit kindness and happiness and faith and compassion and patience, being patient, that is such a good goal that I've developed through the years. That patience is free. We just have to stand there and take a deep breath and look around and enjoy something. Maybe we can see someone with a baby enjoying their life while we're having to wait in line. Or if we're waiting on the phone, we can look out the window and maybe a bird is jumping around, or we see a cloud that reminds us of something that we love. It's up to each of us to use our smart, intelligent brains and emotions to help us and not hurt us. And I think that the world around us, politics, the news, all that stuff, all the podcasts that get you up here, oh, Putin's going to do this, or Donald Trump's going to do that, or oh my God, Kamala's going to do this, right? Or Joe Biden's going to pardon his son, right? Anyways, so what I try to do, whatever happens, is just say, like the farmer said about his son, we don't know if it's good or it's bad that he broke his leg. Got off on a tangent on that. So then in that story, after the son breaks his leg, a week later or so, the army comes around to collect all the sons who can fight. But that guy's son had a broken leg, so he couldn't go to war. So his neighbors all said, oh, that's good, that's good. And then he said, we'll see. He just never got too excited about if anything was really good or really bad. He was just able to say, it's all, it's all good, it's all okay, we'll see, time will tell, right? And I remember with my ex-husband that slapped me around, I said something about, well, our relationship, time will tell, and he got kind of mad at that, and maybe that's because he knew he was angrier than I knew, right? And how did I deal with that? I thought to myself, well, maybe in my last lifetime, I was the wife beater or the husband beater, right? And so I thought maybe this is my karma, because I can't always, if something bad's happened to me, then maybe I did something even in a past lifetime or something I didn't know, right? And I'm working out my karma. And so the more that in my mind and heart that I could just deal with whatever's happening in the moment in my most relaxed state, to allow all good to come to me by giving good, by being helpful, by helping myself, by helping my husband, by helping the people in my life. I just so love knowing that I'm the boss of my emotions. And you can be the boss of your emotions too. It just takes some work and some patience and some honesty, right? We got to be honest with ourselves. In AA, they said people couldn't get healed from alcoholism if they couldn't be honest with themselves. So what's that mean to me? That means, well, if I make a mistake, I need to own up to it, right? Because when I own up to it and take responsibility, that's when I can change my life. And when we let depression get to us or any negative emotion too much, guess what? Depression. Well, it depresses our immune system. It depresses so many kinds of our body. Our immune system's hindered. our ability to sometimes even nourish ourselves. We're not hungry if we get too stressed out. And that comes down to the last part of taking care of our depression and mental health by eating well, right? The food we eat totally affects our mind and our depression. I was just listening to a study where they said that they gave a bunch of juvenile delinquents organic good food, and guess what? They quit fighting with each other. So my hypothesis has been proved, where I had a crazy friend that didn't eat any good and she just smoked cigarettes and she went crazy, and I have another friend whose son went off the deep end too, smoking too many cigarettes, not eating right. And I just thought if we could just lock them up and nourish them with whole food, right? Get them off the cigarettes, because cigarettes take away your appetite, and then you're not hungry, and then you don't eat, and then you have a pop and a bag of chips, right? And so many people I know think that what they eat has nothing to do with their mental, physical, or emotional well-being. And somehow I'm so grateful that 30 years ago this year, I guess 30 and a half, I think it was in the spring. Oh no, maybe it was in the fall because there was lots of potatoes. So anyway, yeah, probably 30 years ago, right around my birthday, I've been eating 99% organic. Because somewhere you're going to have something that's not organic, or maybe once in a while buy an inorganic avocado because it looks good. But not very often do I buy or eat anything that's not organic, because I want to limit my exposure to chemicals. Why? To help my emotional state. Everything I'm doing with my diet, with my exercise, with going in the cold water. I went in the cold water this week in the lake for about 10 minutes. I have a friend who comes and goes swimming, so I didn't go as long as her, but I did for about 10 minutes, and went around our dock. Water running. I wasn't swimming. I was just like paddling around and playing around in the water, but I did it till I got really good and cold, and I don't think my feet heated up. And why is that? Because it's good for my emotions. It's so important to make it a priority to take care of our emotions, and not to just be taken care of and overwhelmed by our emotions. If you're feeling overwhelmed, sit and breathe and just focus on anything to be grateful for. You could be grateful for having a house. You could be grateful for having a tent. You could be grateful for having a wood stove, or a heater, or a fire. Or you could be grateful that you're still breathing. You could be grateful you could blink your eyes and they're not stuck open, and Like, there's so many things that you can pee. There's always something to be grateful for. I've lived in a car. I've lived in a garden shed for 3 years at a campground. They were called camping cabins. It was like 12 by 12 or 10 by 10, me and my ex. So if I could be happy with the crazy things I've did in my life and master my emotions and my happiness through all of that, I know that you can too. Through whatever trials and tribulations you're going through. We are powerful spiritual beings, and if we decide we want to be happy, we could even be happy in hell or in a concentration camp. Like Viktor Frankl, when he was in a concentration camp, what he did was fantasize about how he fantasized. He kept on imaging, right, to keep on giving him hope. He took control. He didn't look around at all the death and destruction in that camp. He looked at the future that he was going to create, to get back with his wife and teach and share what he was learning. And it was beautiful, and I learned a lot from Viktor Frankl's books about keeping perseverance, keeping connected to a purpose, keeping connected to your heart, and to knowing that there's good in people even if you're in hell. There'll still be someone in hell with you that will help you and be a good person. I know that. I've been in some hellish situations. I remember being in the battered women's shelter, and all the women in there were smoking, and I used to smoke from probably 16 up and on till 25, was till my 25th birthday present, was to quit smoking, right? So I quit smoking, and then I never did it again. Oh well, I bought a pack of organic cigarettes in like 2000 just to try them, but they were just as awful as regular cigarettes. Ugh. So I shared them. Yeah. And so anyways, one of the women at the battered women's shelter came and sat next to me when I was all by myself. So when we're alone, someone will come and reach out. I've panhandled, people have helped me, right? There's always good in this world if we focus on, it's what we focus on, right? So I dare you to focus on the good. I dare you to think good thoughts, to have faith, and to be grateful for something every day. I promise you, if you be grateful for something every day of your life, eat a little bit better, right? Eat some good protein. Go find a grass-fed steak or a fish, right? There's so many good whole food kind of protein in this world. Some eggs. Go eat something that didn't come in a plastic wrap, right? An egg comes in a shell. I guess it comes in a cellophane it could come in a cardboard carton or a styrofoam carton. But there's so many ways to help us manage our emotions so we feel like we're coming out on top instead of feeling like we're at the bottom of the heap pile, right? And it's our perception of the day, of the life, of every single moment. And I just love knowing that I'm the master of my emotions, and whatever I'm doing, I can make it into fun. I've made cleaning toilets into fun. I make doing taxes into fun. I make everything into fun because it's up to me. If I want to think, oh, drudgery, I have to do the dishes again. Well, guess what? Then I'm giving my body a dose of cortisol and adrenaline and icky stuff. But if I'm thinking, oh my gosh, look at this. All these wonderful dishes, job security. My hands will be all warm and toasty in the water. I'm the boss of my emotions, and I'm going to have fun every moment. So I dare you to try the happiness enhancer's path. Become a happiness enhancer yourself. Be happy for no reason. Don't wait till you get a new car to be happy. No, be happy because you want to be happy. Because that's what I decided, is to be happy not for no reason, to be happy for every reason, to be thankful, to be the master of my emotions. Because I want to be a victor. I want to be victorious in my mind and in my heart so that I could have a happy days every single day. Even if someone passes away, even, when my dad passed away, I was destroyed for a long time. But in 2018, my mom and Robert's mom transformed to their earthly spirits. And they had both lived full, long lives. And my mom's body, if I had that body, I might have offed myself. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could have been grateful. Oh, my mom tried to be grateful. She was trying to do that, and I admire her for that. And she didn't complain about her sickness or anything, and she just kept a smile on, and that was really hard for her to do, right? And then she had a few friends that she shared her aches and pains with that understood her. Because you do have to talk about it. It's not like you can stuff your emotions. That's not what I'm saying. We have to acknowledge our emotions and comfort ourselves. Not just lie to ourselves. I guess faking it till you make it can work. That's not exactly lying. You know that you're in some situation and you want to be in some other situation. And we act as if we're in the situation that we want rather than the situation that we have. And that's what I've done my best to do. And I know, I've read enough books to know if you improve the state of your mind, the state of your life will also improve. So thanks everyone for being here. I love you all. And hopefully we'll see you on on Sunday again. And I'll get my poop in a group. I love you all. And remember, if you need any jewelry for earrings or a painting for your walls, go to robertsarens.com. If you need some art, like drawings for your books, sketches for your blogs, go to Signs of April at Redbubble. And if you want an affirmation for encouragement or goal setting or dietary changes, just go to stephanieserens.ca. We love you all, and I dare you to love yourself wholeheartedly. You're a miracle. You're a wise spiritual being here to flourish and share your light, because you are a light being. You have light inside of you. Just close your eyes for a while. You'll see the light. Love you. Bye.